Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to day 2 of the Major League Gaming Spring Championship. We are live in the Anaheim Convention Center. 2 days down, we're almost near the end of day 2. Tomorrow's Championship Sunday, and we are about to embark on a journey of Naniwa versus Polt.
That's right. Looks like Naniwa has just given the okay, just waiting on Polt to give the final okay as well. And by the way, I just want to say thank you all so much for making such awesome signs. Yeah. I recently found out, according to the audience, that I am, in fact, the world's #1 ranked pony.
I'm going to agree.
There it is.
I'm going to agree. This is truth. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We are finally entering into Game 1. Belcher Vestige is our map. The epic music is playing, Sean. And we are ready to go live. Are you ready to introduce these players?
I am indeed. Marcus DJ Wheat Graham.
Here we go. In the northwest position, as the blue Terran. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for CM Storm Polt.
Winner of the GSL Super Tournament. At a time when all Terrans were struggling, gets 3rd place at IPL 5. And is going to be playing the upcoming WCS Premier League. In the bottom right, seemingly the only foreigner who can always go toe-to-toe with anyone, no matter if it's the world's best or not. It is none other than Alliance's Naniwa.
Fan favorite for a lot of reasons, not only his ongoing history here in StarCraft 2, whether it be Wings of Liberty or Heart of the Swarm, but also one of the remaining foreigners in the top 8. You know, in this day and age, Sean, I mean, that is an accomplishment in and of itself.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny how insane the skill ceiling has grown since the release of Heart of the Swarm.
It's
There's
true.
So many amazing tactics that you can utilize. There's so much to keep track of that, I mean, the one thing that we're seeing a lot of players struggle with right now is just consistency. They'll go to a tournament and be able to crush everyone with a new style, and then at the next one, there's moves that have come out in just the last week that seem like completely impossible for their style. So players are having to do a lot of adjustments again and again and again.
Of course, you know, we saw the adjustment and the change in the metagame from top to bottom when Heart of the Swarm came out, and it still feels like there's so much left to be discovered as balance is still, you know, being toyed with here and there to try to create the most optimal playing experience. And, you know, it's very exciting to see, and I think because that skill ceiling has widened and has gotten so high that it also has, you know, expanded, I think, some of the ideas, concepts, new build orders, compositions continue to evolve, and it's just amazing to see.
Polt looks like he is going old school. He's actually just going 1 barracks early expand, which we actually don't really see that much in this tournament in the PvT matchup. It's really cool to see it make a debut. Looks like we're seeing the 1 Zealot out of Naniwa. Is he going to let that finish? He does. A lot of players like to let that 1 Zealot finish just to make sure that they can kill off any engineering bay that ends up getting constructed.
Yeah, and going back, I mean, just to kind of what you said, it is different to see the racks into the expansion. You know, a lot of times we see the Reaper, and it's like, why not? You have a gas up. It doesn't cost that much, and of course it's fast, but this SCV does the exact same scouting that a Reaper would have done. He's not trying to force any damage out, obviously, and can't. But will the SCV circle back around and see this, the Nexus going down here for Naniwa?
Double barracks also coming up for Polt. No gas yet. Looking completely standard. I mean, right now Naniwa has just a single sentry, and traditionally we see players begin stockpiling sentries up very early on, but of course with the existence of that Mothership Core, players are delaying it more and more and more. Look at how early that Robo is. 4:45 it plants down. As usual, Naniwa always has a perfectly timed economy, very meticulous with when he pulls units in and out of gas. Although Polt is going to get a pretty easy scout in here, and we'll be able to pierce right up in there, but I mean, even though Polt has gotten this scout off, not like a big edge has gone to Polt. He's just going, geez, that's an early robo.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of confirmation. And, you know, I don't think Polt's a player who can be jaded by seeing something, not sure anything can really throw him off. And, you know, with how he's opened, he still has a lot of room to wiggle with. Obviously, we've got the 3 racks, the 2 refineries went down. That means the tech lab immediately, and once it's finished, he'll be getting his stim up. I mean, there's certainly still a potential for attack, but when you've also got the mothership core out and the Nexus finishing up, here on Belshire Vestige, you know, and especially with the photon overcharge, it can be really difficult for any sort of early attacks. And we've seen, let's see, Factory, so we're totally bio at this point for Polt.
Chrono boosted Immortal for Naniwa. This is exciting. You see 3 gates on the Chrono boosted Immortal. Normally by now players would begin, ooh, second Immortal coming up. We normally see players begin adding on a Forge, adding on a Twilight Council. It looks like it's going to be some early aggression out of Naniwa, who's getting his probe in position.
And now we've got some Marines moving forward. There are a couple of sentries down here. He's going to go ahead and target fire, and he does not even take a single one out. Actually, he's going to get into a position where these Marines are probably going to end up all falling. There's a warp in as well. We haven't even seen one unit go down quite yet for Naniwa. Naniwa finally losing the sentry, but Polt losing all these Marines. Some great control by Naniwa, only losing a single sentry.
Huge danger scenario right now for Polt. Mothership core moving out, 2 Immortals, 3 warp gates done, and Naniwa, has he halted probe production? You betcha. He's going to get ready to do massive warp-ins. He's going to get perhaps another round of sentries in there. Well, no, he's going to be adding on Stalkers. Only 2 sentries. Doesn't really seem to have a ton of energy to be able to do a lot of force dealing. He's getting ready to do some aggression right at the front. Look at this. Naniwa not even trying to hide it.
No, he's not. Pylon in a very, very offensive position. The Immortals now have made it up here. That second barracks bunker did finish, so leaving a total of 3. The Mothership core is here for a lot of utility as Naniwa commits to an attack. More Stalkers come in, and there's the time stop. We're going in.
Only 2 force fields, but 2 perfectly placed force fields. Naniwa has broken the south end. He doesn't even need to engage the bunker. It looks like he is just going to waltz his way right past that bunker and begin engaging these units directly. More Stalkers warping in, but the SCVs from Polt are getting some amazing anglings. I'm not sure if this is going to pan out so great for Naniwa.
Yeah, he's got 1 Immortal that still has full hardened shield, but he really could have used some Zealots right there. The Immortal's getting trapped by the SCVs, and Polt will defend 1 Stalker coming in. He's going to take out the Mothership core as well.
Wow.
And Polt has read and defended this against Naniwa.
A very questionable decision by Naniwa, and leaves without a GG. Wow.
You know, at that front, the time warp goes down. Obviously, try to keep the SCVs. We did have 1 of the bunkers go down. Tried to scoot past it. There was still that full bunker on the top, and the Immortals, they got SCV hugs this game.
And you know, I mean, Naniwa's opening was brilliantly timed. I mean, normally we call an early robo 5:15, 4:45. I mean, I would tell any player, you don't need to get it that early. What is your observer scout going to see then that it couldn't see 30 seconds later? But if you're doing an Immortal push, a brilliant structure. But I think Naniwa thought that he had a little bit more than he actually did. Crushed the first attack, moved in there, crushed the next 2 bunkers, and got far too overeager and threw his enormous advantage away. But again, if Naniwa can keep his composure in this setting, he clearly has builds that are ready to go toe-to-toe with virtually anything.
Well, game number 1 goes to Polt. Naniwa not out yet. The next map is going to be Whirlwind, and we will take a quick look.